Welcome. Let me introduce our wonderful string quartet. David Cheshire on Alexander Mulder violin, Samantha Osorio, and Nora Shefferman. Great guys. And this is exciting because this is one of the very first opportunities to be able to perform live. So this is great. And I would be remiss if I did not introduce our wonderful orchestra teacher, herself an alumna of New High School. Congratulations to all of you. Good evening and welcome everyone to a very, very memorable event each year at New High School, and that is the induction into our Distinguished Alumni Wall of Fame. So before we begin, I'd like you to all rise so we can say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much for being seated. It's now my pleasure to introduce our Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Mr. Ryan Reed. Good evening, everyone.
So I have had the fortunate to be in the district for over a year now, and this is my first induction, so it's an honor. And I would just like to say that as I was reading through Justice Malone's little biography here, I saw the bottom portion, which stated one of the best things that I can imagine for, especially for all of us as we go through these turbulent times of the pandemic. But Janet wants students to dream big and dream in color with their eyes wide open, and to obtain their education with books and wisdom and knowledge from their life experiences. So for me, this is a wonderful experience. So I thank you so very much. And it's an honor to be here tonight and to induct into this hall of fame. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. And welcome all of you. We have too many illustrious people to introduce you all because you're all illustrious, so I'm going to forego those introductions for fear that I'll leave someone out. But we're here for a very, very wonderful program, and that is to induct Justice Janet C. Malone. So let me give you a little brief background on the Justice. A native of the Caribbean island of Barbados, in 2016, she became the first Black female justice of the New York State Supreme Court, 9th Judicial District, which she still maintains that position. Malone chronicles her journey from the Eastern Caribbean island of Barbados as an immigrant, hoping for a better life. Her mother was first to embark on the incredible journey, migrating to the United States, working 3 jobs, one of which supported a family of lawyer, who in turn assisted in the migration of the rest of the Malone family from Barbados. And Judge Malone arrived here in the United States on December 12, 1971. She came here to New Rochelle and to New Rochelle High School. Already we began to see some interesting qualities in her personality when her counselors here at New Rochelle suggested that she seek more of a vocational track. And she said, no, that's not going to work for me. Defying the odds and the advice of her counselors, following her own dreams, when she graduated here in 1982, she set her sights high and she went on to Utica College in Syracuse, earning a Bachelor of Science degree in 1986, and then followed on to Queens College at City University of New York, where she became a Juris Doctor. Malone remarked at that time, can no one define you or set the narrative for you? And with instilled perseverance and guiding your vessel, you can weather any storm. And that kind of became her mantra. Before landing the esteemed job as Justice of the Supreme Court, her legal career included an ADA in the Manhattan office, practicing law, and a family court judge in Westchester County, acting Supreme Court Justice in the 9th Judicial District. This is an exciting achievement for us tonight. I'm not going to go into the litany of the rest of her accomplishments because it's here. But without further ado, let me introduce Justice Janice Malone.
This been a long time in public. Giving all honor to God, to my mother who's here, and I'm so proud that I can stand before my mother and so she can see a living example of all of her hard work. And I hope I continue to make you proud. My husband George, who's here with his camera. Thank you for your support. And my sister, who was like a second mother to me, always telling me, Janny, you gotta get up, you gotta go to school, you gotta do this. Because why? My mother was working 3 jobs. And there were times that she wasn't home in the morning, but it was time to go to school. And I can say that there was times I didn't want to get up to go to school. There was nobody there. I wasn't there. And my sister, who's 3 years older than I am, 3 years, 23 days, 30 minutes. No, we never thought about it. She was always there encouraging me. And when I went to law school, my sister, who was in college, would leave Marist College. She would drive down to Westchester. She would go to work, and she would make sure that I had money in my pocket. She shared her income with me. She shared her, oh my, because I would leave my tissues in my bag. Because someone, I said I wasn't going to be emotional, but you know, I lied to myself. And she shared her finances with me. She's sharing her tissues now. Always, always. And I remember one night I was in law school, and I got caught up in what I was doing. So caught up, I didn't call home. So caught up, I forgot what time it was. So caught up, it was the next morning. And my mother, my sister, everyone started to figure out, where is she? And all they heard, there was someone at the school that says, oh, she left the campus with some man. He was a fellow student. He went to get something to eat and come back. But I was so immersed in everything. And I wasn't driving at the time. I was taking the train. And so I'll never forget, a friend of my mother made sure I got a computer at home. Remember, it was a little dot matrix. And my sister said, you can't take the train. And she gave me her car. She gave me her car so that I could drive from home in New Rochelle to law school in Michigan, that I could be safe. And even when I wanted to stay late, no one had to worry about me taking the train. That old African proverb, it takes a village. It is so true. It is so true. And as Principal Goldberg stated, and thank you very much for this opportunity, I was told that I should pursue a teaching career. Like teaching is easy. They told me I should become a teacher and I should give up. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what am I going to teach? What am I going to teach? Why, if I can't do it, why should I teach it? I just don't understand that. And I remember going home, my mother said, don't let anybody tell you what you're made of, what you can do, what you can't do. And I've always remembered that. And along the way, I have been so blessed to encounter really good people. Some bad, but you know, you leave them to the side. Some really good people. And a lot of them have been teachers. And if we have not realized how important teachers are, how important administrators are in this pandemic, then we will never understand the need for good teachers. And I believe it was at Isaac E. Young at the time it was junior high school, Mr. Presto, who introduced me to biology and science, watching things bubble and changing molecules and things like that. And Mr. Preston, who instilled in me the love of law and the constitutional law. Mary Ellen Forte, who says, here's a bag, here's some topics, mix them up, and when the bag comes to you, take out the paper, and you're going to get up in front of this class, and you are going to talk about that topic. I was scared to death. I was scared to death. But Mary Ellen Forte taught me to hear my own voice. We hear the voices of other people, but it is so important to hear your own voice. Hear you encouraging yourself. Hearing you say, the negative, that's not me. She told me also that I have a voice and that I needed to use that voice. I tell people I'm shy. I don't like speaking in front of people. I'd rather stay behind a mask and be a role player. But somehow when you see injustice, you have to speak up. I always tell people that my sister was my first client. And then she went to school, and this young man was bullying her. And so I told her, you have to stand up for yourself. And she like, you need to say something to this guy. And so I beat him up. And they sent me home. I'm like, you have to speak up for yourself. And then that kind of became our role, taking on the mouthpiece role. And I said, okay, here comes my calling. Another great teacher, Willie Mae Carter, was a math teacher. I transferred into her class in this building. And when I got to the class, I couldn't find the classroom. It's a big building, couldn't find the classroom. When I got to the classroom was full. And so I saw a seat in the back, and I went and I sat in the back. She's like to the end of the class. Come here. Come here. Why did you go to the back of the class? There was a seat in the front of the class. She said, you take your place at the front of the class. You take your seat at the head of the table. These are words that I have never forgotten. I've also not forgotten the one who said, you can't be a lawyer. Ha ha ha. And that's why I tell young people, use negative comments, use the positive comments to drive you, If it is going to drive you and motivate you to do better and to go to greater heights because someone told you you can't do something, then use it. Take the negative and make it the positive. But don't get too full and too puffed up on the positive, because all of our bubbles get burst at some point. We all come back to earth. So keep your feet on the ground. But to all the educators and all those who are now in the building, educating young kids, God bless you. I know you're hearing from parents, and I hear it, because in our virtual appearances, the kids are in the background, and the parents are apologizing. Don't apologize. Don't apologize. And I remember an attorney saying, when I'm finished with this call, Judge, I'm going to have to go study my kids' lesson before I can teach it to them, because I don't understand any of this. And what does that say? Teachers are so important. Not only just to teach us, teach the students, motivate them. Motivate them. I'm standing right before you at the age of 56, and I remember the words of my junior high and high school teachers. That's the impact you can have, your words can have. Is someone to say, you can do it. You can do it. Whether you're a guidance counselor, assistant superintendent, superintendent, principal. And that, you have such an ability to motivate the next generation. It is unbelievable. And I know it's a daunting task sometimes, but keep up the hard work. Keep up the good work. And being a family court judge, I know sometimes teachers, you see things that a lot of people don't see. You see how kids come to school. I had an educational neglect case when I was in family court. The teacher testified about how she went out and she bought clothes for this young man because his clothes were soiled. He was coming to school with soiled clothes. She took him to the locker room, stood outside and told him to bathe. She brought in fresh fruit for him. And it was that teacher also that called CPS. You see things, you hear things the rest of us don't. God bless you. I am extremely humble for this recognition. I still don't feel like I've done enough. I still feel there's more for me to do. But this is a special, special recognition because I was nominated, I was told by my youngest nephew, Adrian, who's right there. Stand up. Stand up. And for you to see something in your aunt that you felt was worthy of sharing with others, I thank you. And my other nephew, Aaron, you know I love you. He's an engineer, I'm so proud. I'm so proud. So again, thank you very much for this recognition. Keep up good work. God bless you all. Godspeed. And I'm so appreciative.
Before we go over to the actual unveiling, I want to say a couple of things. I remember all four of those teachers you mentioned, so therefore the ages meet here. But I will say something about Mary Ellen Forte, who was an English teacher, and she was quite an amazing English teacher. And Willie Carter was a math teacher who was an inspiration, I would think. The beauty of math teachers, particularly today, is the number of women who have gone into math. I think because of her in particular, she was really inspirational. And Ken Preston, I was the former social studies chair. He was an amazing guy. But now we're going to do a really interesting thing. We're going to go over and do the unveiling. But before we do that, I just want to make sure you realize you're going into a very, very illustrious group of people down there. I think people are always astounded when they go down there and they see all the people who have made a contribution to this country, local and national. Whether it's I was saying to someone before, the most amazing thing down there is two of the most active female TV journalists today were in this building at the exact same moment, and that is when Andrea Mitchell of NBC was a senior, Gloria Borgia of CNN was a freshman. Imagine both at the same time in this building. My all-time favorite, and you'll join him up there, is 1937 graduate Henry Heimlich of the Heimlich maneuver. People don't realize that he also walked these hollow halls, and lots of others, whether in the field of law, entertainment, sports. So you join now a very, very illustrious group, and rightfully so. So let's go over, and if you want me to go over here and see the unveiling. Okay.